ask, you already know what it is, but I'm not going to ask it now. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to allow and give an opportunity in studio to a gentleman by the name of Andile Dube, who is the founder and CEO of C.R.E.A.M. And of course, we're going to ask, what in the world is C.R.E.A.M? Because it doesn't sound like a franchise that sells food. But welcome to the studio, sir.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, and you, sir?
Not too bad. Looking good. All suited. I think this is part and parcel of the product.
I do, you do.
First impressions do last though, so you got that one right.
Oh, so Bush is impressed. Hello. Okay, fair enough.
Just putting it out
It's okay. I thought it was the glasses, but it's alright. Just to give you a bit of yourself, what is C.R.E.A.M? And who is Andile Dube?
Okay, C.R.E.A.M stands for Creating Revolutionary Entrepreneurs and Moguls.
Wow.
And it's an entity that we, when I say we, I mean myself and my business partner, Permanent Ziki, started this company.
Mm-hmm.
The aim of the company is it's an innovative company that uses different media platforms such as to promote, to inspire, educate, connect, and support and cultivate a culture amongst entrepreneurs
Sure.
in the country. And to get on the second question, who is Andile Dube? I'm actually a kid, like an average kid, Joe from the street, who comes from KZN, originally from Estenga.
Hey, boy, it's also so good to slow when I stood this.
Yeah, come Estenga, and then I came this side to come and study become economics at UJ, and graduated from there. Started my first company, which was a property company. It's called Big Grand Properties, and then moved on from there to start this company, which is called C.R.E.A.M.
Alright, when we come back, we're going to get into the full-on interview. For now, we're just testing the waters. The nice thing I love about being South African and being born in this generation is this. And it's very simple. It's the fact that we are at the stage where we can create. We need to fill a gap. We can't wait to be given jobs. It's time to create jobs. In studio, I do have Andile Dube, who is the CEO and founder of C.R.E.A.M. Creating, and you're going to complete it for me. Creating
Revolutionary Entrepreneurs and Moguls.
Now, how did you get to the name of the company?
Believe it or not, the name came up, first we came up with the name C.R.E.A.M, and then it was an issue of, because we wanted something catchy and something cool, and then it was an issue of how do we then put in entrepreneurship in the midst, and how do we create a name out of it, because it's an acronym. How do we come up with the different names? So it came out with Creating Revolutionary Entrepreneurs, and then the last two letters, A and M, was we couldn't just come up with anything, so it had to be and moguls. So that's how we just came up with the name C.R.E.A.M.
Oh, so C.R.E.A.M is the first element, then you need need to bring life to it becoming...
Exactly.
Okay, fair enough. And how long has it been running?
It's been running about 3 years now.
3 years?
Yes.
Okay, that means that you guys are stable and there is a turnover each month.
Yes, sir.
And now, talking about the most important thing that I always find, what is the purpose of C.R.E.A.M?
The aim of C.R.E.A.M is to inspire the youth in terms of getting to entrepreneurship, and to change mindsets in terms of, because everyone is of the notion that from our parents that we have to go out there and look for jobs, as you said. But the issue that South Africa is facing is that everyone is going to look for a job, but no one is actually creating jobs. We have a lot of people who are waiting in line with degrees, people in matric who just completed matric, and they don't have they don't have jobs, and we need to create that culture of entrepreneurship, and also just create something like a brotherhood system. I've seen that it works perfectly with other cultural groups such as Jews. They have that spiderweb doctrine where they support each other and cultivate each other and educate each other and teach each other about entrepreneurship and how to go from strength to strength. So that's the pinnacle of C.R.E.A.M.
And I think that's a very, very true statement, considering that a lot of times we, and I would say we, utilizing me being a black person, we in our culture is that we don't support each other's businesses, and on top of that, we don't respect each other's ideas. In a sense that I'll put an example is that someone opens up a tech shop in this road. You'd find that someone else will open the same tech shop across the road. And the question would be, why open a tuck shop when there's a tuck shop there? We do not look to serve. We look to compete with our businesses, and also we do not look at the gap that is there. Now, considering that you've started the business, clearly you saw a gap in the market. How did you get to this findings?
It's honestly speaking, it's there's a lot of research that happened behind the scenes. It's I don't think. As you said, one other problem that we have as people in general is that we suffer from the Facebook syndrome, meaning that we think that if I start something today, tomorrow I'm going to be a billionaire.
Sure.
So that's one of the problems. And in that, we don't see the behind the scenes of how a person hustles, where you knocking on doors and you're getting a lot of rejections from people, where you asking for funding and no one wants to fund you, or you're asking for support, either somebody buying a comic or something from you, and no one is supporting you. So that's our biggest challenge. So we need to do a lot of research we have to do research before we can go into implementing an idea to see if it's feasible. Ask your friends, ask your family, ask people around you, ask for advice, tweak the idea. From where we started to where we are now, we had to tweak the idea several times before we get to this level.
It's process.
It's process. It's not. It's like wine. It matures over time. So you have to constantly be working at it. And if it's that's one other thing is that you have to be passionate about what you're doing. If you're not passionate about what you're doing, those days where there's no money coming in and you have to pay bills, you have to close shop then, and you're gonna be stranded.
You know, if you're just joining us in the studio, I do have the young gentleman by the name of Andile Dube, who's actually from Stanger and found his way to Joburg. I don't know how, but here he is in the studio talking about C.R.E.A.M and talking about entrepreneurship, talking about creating a space whereby a hub is created, where people can be taught and ushered to, for example, registering their businesses, which is one of the services you guys provide. And on top of that, they can also find a community where they can get support. I mean, you guys also tap into financial support. And obviously you shared a story with me of how you had a possible client who was saying, look, I have an idea, I need funding. The biggest question I'd probably have to ask and get your personal opinion on it, do you think there's a lack of research in South African businesses that have been established by young people under the age of 25?
I would say yes. Reason being that we tend to look a lot on international research. The biggest one that we use in South Africa is the C.R.E.A.M report. So, and we don't have something that's in-house. As much as the C.R.E.A.M report is a good quality research, but it's nothing. It's just something that touches the surface. It doesn't go in depth into what is actually happening in the country, if this is a true reflection of this current entrepreneurship space in South Africa and the youth specifically. And in terms of youth specifically research, we don't have specific youth research in terms of entrepreneurship as far as I know.
No, okay, I get that, but I'm trying to ask that people that are starting the businesses, do you think they're doing enough research, to put it in a simpler way?
Okay, I would say in some instances, yes, because I've met quite a few people who are doing quite well in terms of the entrepreneur space, who are young people, because who have been doing quite in terms of research. They've done a lot of research. Because what happens is that if you don't do proper research on your business idea, then you're doomed to fail. It's like planning. It's like if you don't have a plan, then you're bound to fail. So the same story there. If an idea is not researched properly, it will never materialize in reality. So I would say yes, the people are doing quite some research behind the scenes. It's just that some people start businesses because of the hype. They want to be, as you said, want to be those CEOs instead of following their dreams, following their passions, following something that they want to do, that they've been longing to do in for their whole lives.
Ladies and gents, the initial reason why this young man is here today, and I use the word young because we both young men and young girls, and but the word is young, is that the word young talks about privilege. You are privileged to be young, but you also have to be responsible. There'll be no later stage in your life that will have so much energy, you'll have so much vision, all in one basket. The older you become, the less energy you have. If you're just joining us in the studio, I do have the CEO and founder of C.R.E.A.M, which deals with entrepreneurship, creating a revolutionary manner of bringing life and bringing change in society. Because part and parcel of your guys' ideology is to change the way people see business. Now, we spoke about what you guys have done and are doing and your services. Speaking about one of the main reasons you're here.
The main reason why we're here, we've just created the world's first entrepreneurship comic book.
Hold on. The world's first?
Entrepreneurship
Is this
comic.
been researched to be the world's first?
As far as I know, based on my research, it is the world's first.
We want the real story here. We don't want to hear China did it first.
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry.
Yeah?
I mean, the moment you said that, you caught my attention.
I was like, hey, look.
Like, please.
You could Google it and see.
Enlighten. I would love to. I will do that.
I hope it is the world's first. Because
Yeah.
South Africa has to own its brands.
That would be amazing.
And what is it all about? It's called the Young Hustler, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The Young Hustler is a collaborative effort between Loyis Mkhize and Coal Stove Productions and ourselves. It's basically about a young hustler, Tsepisang, the main character, who's starting out as following his dreams.
Yeah.
And he's a young hustler. He's gonna so as we read as the readers, we're gonna be going on this entrepreneurship journey with the main character and the various other characters of how to start, where to start, the challenges in terms of entrepreneurship, where to get support, and all these other various institutions. So the aim is to educate and inspire young entrepreneurs and say, you know what, it is possible. You can actually do it, even if you come from the dusty places, even if you come from the dusty streets of Soweto.
Sure. And how did this concept of this actual comic strip come about?
The way it came about was that based on the fact that we're trying to come up with something different to offer to the youth in terms of entrepreneurship, because we feel that entrepreneurship is not properly administrated to the youth.
Yeah.
We face a challenge of we don't, in our institutions that we go to, we don't get the necessary entrepreneurship and education. So then that we felt like there was a need for a comic book or some sort or something that will educate the youth about entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So the name Young Hustler actually came about from my younger brother, Lucky Dube. He came up with the name Young Hustler. So I then said, okay, I just told him we're creating a comic book, and we need a cool name, something catchy that the youth can identify with.
Yeah.
And he gave me the name Young Hustler, and that's how the comic book came about.
Sure. You guys are working hard, man. Clearly.
We tried.
And considering that you guys have created the idea, what is the sustainability of it? I mean, where do you want it to go? What is the goal of it? What do you want to attain at the end of this journey, if there is an end?
Okay. In terms of the journey itself, we want to tell stories about South African stories, about how entrepreneurship can change the lives of many people in South Africa. We want to educate the youth about entrepreneurship and say, you know what, to find a job is cool, but you can also go the other route of starting your own business.
Yeah.
It's not all doom and gloom. There's people out there who are doing it for themselves. And the aim for us, I always speak to my business partner about this and say, you know what, as much as the world is there to conquer, our target is Africa. Our target is Africa on this project. If we could go from provincially to nationally and take over Africa, I'll be gratefully appreciated of that.
Sure. Talk about people are making moves in and around the world. But wrapping up our interview with Mr. Andile Dube, who speaks about Lucky Dube being his younger brother. I was like, hey brother, how old are you guys? I allowed myself to call you a young man, and then now you're telling me Lucky Dube is your brother. What's going on here? My man, wrapping it up, knowing that C.R.E.A.M being an entity that you've created, and it's been running for 3 years, and now it has a young initiative that it's bringing to life, which is called Young Hustla, which is a comic strip. But now, you taking things forward for people who want to, for example, either follow your work or be a part of your works, how does all of this go about?
Okay, people can follow us on Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook we call it C.R.E.A.M. And they can follow us on Twitter, which is C.R.E.A.M SA. Sorry, it's C.R.E.A.M SA _ C.R.E.A.M. And on Instagram it's C.R.E.A.M. C.R.E.A.M underscore SA.
Where does the R come from?
The R.
So it's cream.
revolutionary, Yes.
So it's C.R. So in between the word cream,
Yes.
put dot.
Yes.
That's on?
That's on Instagram.
On Instagram.
Yes.
And on Twitter it's cream SA.
C.R.E.A.M SA underscore cream.
Okay, on Facebook I found it's called cream.
Yes.
It's written in red.
Yes. And then on our website it's www.creamsa.co.za.
Alright, amazing stuff. Congratulations, by the way, on having a website. A lot of youngsters, we're still struggling with this website game. It's not easy. In closing, what words of encouragement and words of inspiration would you share to the person who's in business, who's for business but is probably scared, and someone who's dreaming of having a business? What would be your words of encouragement?
I would say follow your passion. That I know sounds cliche, but follow your passion. It pays off in the long term. Because it's worse off if you're doing something that you don't like doing, and so I would say follow your passion and join the movement. It's the future belongs to those who work and grab it, and luta continua.
There you have it. So thank you very much for taking time to joining us. Shout out once again to Varsity TV for being a part of the interview as always they do. We do appreciate their work. And these profiles, a question that you didn't touch on that I'm probably going to crap on you about, but you guys have profiles.
Yes.
How does it work?
Okay.
Briefly.
So the profiles part is if you're a young entrepreneur and you have a registered business and have a logo, what you can do is you can create your profile on our website, and you can advertise your business for free on our website. So basically from that profile we're trying to create that brotherhood system such that if you're in construction, for example, if let's say you're in a construction business and I own a cement company, I will buy within the network type of thing. So we're supporting each other from that aspect. If I'm hosting a party and I want a caterer, you look into the network and say, so it's a place where you can sell yourself, showcase yourself in terms of what skills can I bring to the table.
Okay. Alright, fair enough. So you do have the website. Just go to C.R.E.A.M SA, or it's just Cream or the website.
C.R.E.A.M SA.
C.R.E.A.M SA, and then get your information going there. But for myself, getting him back into